Welcome to this episode of Harvey County Talk. I am your host, Lance Gormley. Our guests on the program today are Mike Gerken, who is the CEO of Hillsboro Industries, and we have Christian Gerken, who is the Director of Operations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, I knew I could get it. All right, but anyway, kind of the reason that we have you guys on the program today is because anybody who knows me or knows Harvey County Talk, it's just we are very interested in trying to be able to promote Newton, trying to promote Harvey County, especially in the form of economic development. We love to see companies come to Newton. We love to see more jobs created. I mean, this is a big deal for Newton, right? And so when you guys came up on my radar, I had watched Newton City Commission meeting, and they had mentioned that you all were wanting to call Newton home. And not only call Newton home, but expand from your current location in Hillsboro, right, to then come here. So we're not just being a place where somebody's moving to. We are a place where people are expanding to. And that is just something that's off the chain for me. I love it. I want to know more about it. And when I reached out to get a hold of Mike as soon as I could, he was more than happy to come on. He said he was going to drag you along too, Christian. So, but awesome. You know, really just wanting to hear more about this, right? Wanting to be able to help promote you all, see if there's anything that we can do to be able to fill a need or any needs that you might have, and just welcome you appropriately to our community. Good. So, yeah. As anybody that watches the program knows, I always start out with trying to just get a little bit about you, maybe where you came from, how you found yourself, well, sitting here in front of me today. But are you both Hillsboro people? Are you from Kansas? Kind of what's the history on where you came from and how you found yourself here?
Well, I was born and raised in Nebraska, and job hunting back in the 80s when there were no jobs. I ended up with a job in Coleman, so moved to Wichita. Okay. There a year, and I spent 21 years at Learjet. And then a group of us bought Hillsboro Industries in 2005.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
And then Christian was born in Wichita.
Born in Wichita, graduated high school, Goddard, graduated college, Pittsburgh State, and then worked for 8 years up at AGCO.
Oh, AGCO. Yep. I worked at AGCO myself.
Yeah.
Gotta love some AGCO life. Yep. 70 hours a week.
Yep. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love it. I love it. So that's cool. So neither of you technically, well, I mean, you're not from Newton, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. But you're from the Wichita area, so more or less, you know, South Central Kansas. And then from you, you're Nebraska way.
Yeah.
So then jobs led you to Kansas.
Yes.
And then from there, hard work, effort, and perseverance led you into being able to, coordinate or work with a couple other individuals to be able to purchase Hillsboro Industries.
Yeah. Yeah. There's four partners. There's two of us that are have the majority owners.
Okay.
Phil Weisenbach, he retired in 2017. So I'm running the place now.
Okay. Very cool. Now, I guess, could you give me a little bit of history on Hillsboro Industries? I mean, when it came to looking at purchasing a company, right, of sorts, and Hillsboro Industries was an opportunity, what was some of the things that might have attracted you to wanting to invest and be able to take that company into the future?
Yeah, well, we had a friend whose brother-in-law worked there, and brother-in-law was looking for another opportunity. We actually started out going to build truck beds in competition with Hillsboro Industries. And in the course of setting that up, I got to thinking, well, why don't we just buy Hillsboro Industries? At that time, the company was struggling terribly. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up buying the company and had a very quick turnaround with the company. And when we bought it, 40% of the business was a steel trailer. We don't even make that trailer anymore. So we've totally changed the product mix and what's done with the company since we bought it.
See, and that's incredible. I know this when anybody that hears or sees the Hillsboro name or brand associates, equipment with that, and not only that, but well-built equipment that stands the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've really focused towards aluminum because a lot of the steel product is more of a commodity, and a lot of it's coming from south of the border, so it's lower cost, tough to compete with. So we're focusing on aluminum. We are a innovative, quality, premium product. That's what we market. So.
Very cool. So when just going back to that interest in the company and you purchased the company in 2005, it wasn't doing the best, right? As you stated, you wanted to see that be successful, and so then you even went as far as to really do some design changes. Correct?
Yes.
So if that's the case, was that something that was immediate when you all made the decision to go over to just kind of changing the material that was used, or was it a phase in? What kind of a timetable? Because 2005's been a minute.
Yeah.
You know, so this probably was not something that just happened overnight. Kind of walk me through the progression of just making the decision to utilize or do the process differently in order to build a better quality product that's able to be used by the consumer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was first thing, we had to get the company stable. So we, had to make some changes in organization and development and overhead, and then we just kind of looked at where their quality issues were. We attacked those first. At the time, we were making a lot of steel product, and the paint was terrible.
Okay.
So the first thing we did was fix that. But and then essentially there was zero technology in the company. And we've added CNC equipment and just recently added robotics. And so it's been a progression over time. And a lot of times it was a tough decision when we quit making the steel trailers. That was the foundation of Hillsboro for decades. And we realized that, the market viewed it as a commodity. And while you were trying to make a higher quality product, people weren't willing to pay for that in a steel trailer.
Yeah.
And so we've totally changed the company based on that. I mean, you have to, we talk about it a lot, you have to be able to adapt.
Yes.
And so we've adapted. We used to make literally like 5 truck beds a day. Today we're making 20 truck beds a day. We used to have 2 models of truck beds. Today we have
5. Well, base models.
Yeah, base models. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different base models of truck beds.
So when you say you've changed, you've not only, I mean, you've expanded to be able to meet customer demand. And I'm really interested. I'm a welder by trade. Okay. So I really enjoy metals and the processes and aluminum versus steel and wine, the pros and the cons and the both and everything. And when you decided to change over to aluminum trailers or aluminum material to build your product, that was something that was just starting to wake up in the market, pretty much, is what you're saying. So like where people normally would just, your standard steel product, you stepped out on a limb and you all changed it to be a different material. And so then you had to have customers that were like, what?
Well, I mean, everybody thinks aluminum's weaker.
Yeah.
Of course,
technically, no.
20 years of aircraft background, I kind of have some knowledge of aluminum.
Yeah.
But we do a lot with proprietary extrusions.
Okay.
Because extrusions are stronger than sheet material. So we do a lot of proprietary type work. The thing with aluminum, you mess up a steel weld, you grind it and re-weld it and you're good. Yeah. You mess up an aluminum weld because all of our product goes out with no paint, no covering. Good chance you're going to throw it away.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a lot higher skilled people, a lot more attention to detail.
So do you have just everybody's just aluminum?
No, we make steel truck beds also.
Okay, very cool.
And then some of the substructure, axles, gooseneck, the necks on goosenecks, those are still made from steel and attached to the aluminum. Yeah.
And so surely there's some science behind it. How much does that decrease the overall weight of a trailer? I got to know.
About 30%. So you end up you take like a livestock trailer that has a rating for 14,000 pounds. Well, this trailer weighs 30% less. That's 30% more payload that you can carry.
Yeah. Yeah. and then fuel economy and the whole thing. Yeah, interesting. Christian, you know, we gave you a title, okay, and we know the CEO, okay. What kind of where do you fit into this process? I mean, we were talking before, you know, you didn't just grow up at Hillsboro Industries, right? There was not that type of dynamic for you. So you had other occupation and then decided to take your skills over into what we would call it a family business now, right? At this point.
So I started out at AGCO, manufacturing engineering, did new product introduction on the combine and the planters, a little bit in the large square baler. Here I'm kind of a dual mixed role, if you will, doing purchasing, material management, IT, health and safety, kind of running all of that. I'm really trying to get the systems up to kind of date. We do a lot of paper in the past. We're trying to get away from the manual entry, the paper copies, and try to get more to the computer systems.
Yeah. I mean, when we bought the business, it was 25 people, and pretty much ran like a mom and pop shop. We are getting ready for a major transition, and so Christian's got a vital role in that he's getting our systems up to speed. Working with the ERP system and you know, just basically he handles, I'll say, the whole business operation side of it.
So you are really, in full regard, the man that's responsible for about everything.
Well, I don't want to admit to anything.
I'm not taking responsibility for that, but I guess.
Yeah, fingers are in there somewhere.
I mean, we have a great plant manager that does the day-to-day on the floor. But as far as you know, getting it from an order and the information that the floor needs to build the product, that whole process, and then a lot of the regulatory stuff Christian takes care of.
And then Christian, I mean, man, you know, we're talking about taking a mom and pop shop into the future. There's a lot of things that people don't think about when it comes to that. Like you're talking about digitizing your inventory probably. I mean, you're talking about doing all kinds of things that were not there. I mean, I'm interested, you know, 2005 was a while ago, but to see the type of progression and change that's taken place with Hillsboro Industries to today where we are, I mean, that's a pretty monumental thing to be bringing this company into the future.
I mean, I've been there for 5 years. When I came in, we were still sending orders through fax machine in some cases. Everything, timesheets were all done on paper. The guys were handwriting in what the job they were doing, the quantity, start time, end time. We're to the point now where everything's digital. We're clocking in on the computer. They're clocking into the job on the computer, claiming the quantities on the computer. Most of the dealers are now set up for the website so they can do a lot of their review of the orders and get everything priced out so they can submit the orders easier. So we're just slowly getting to that level. So.
And this has all been done in the same place that it's always been done, basically. So where mom and pop started, you guys took over. This has been the facility for that period of time.
The facility, original building was placed there in '72. They were at another site in Hillsboro prior to that, but then they built this, and it's been added on to here and there. And but we made a big addition in '08, right in the middle of the recession. But we've got 100,000 square foot under roof right now in Hillsboro.
Yeah, that's a big facility. That's not just some mom and pop shop, right?
Well, we've gone from 20 employees to over 70. And then and we've increased the business 5.5-fold as far as revenue.
Wow, incredible. Okay, so that kind of brings us down the journey here. Obviously, this has not been something that's just not changed. There's been a lot of internal things that have grown and shaped and you all have just accomplished. And then we come to the point in time where you literally have just outgrown your facilities. You want to grow more? You want to do more?
Well, it's a mixture of things. We need more people to keep up with the orders, and especially after COVID, the orders have really exploded. And we just have maintained a very high order backlog. And in order to start kind of bring that back down to a more reasonable level, we've got to add people, we've got to add space. And I think that one of the biggest issues was finding people where we're currently located. We've kind of exhausted to some extent the resources, and so in order to expand that further, we've got to move to another location where the housing is there, the people are there, and we can start pulling people in.
That's interesting to think that in some regard a business can be landlocked.
Yeah, I mean, no, we've got, we're occupying 6 acres. We've got 15 in Hillsboro.
Okay.
And we literally had drawings on the board to do a 50,000 square foot addition in Hillsboro. And I'll call it divine intervention or what, but I woke up one night with this dream of this empty facility with no people in it. And so we, before COVID, actually went forth and said, okay, we're going to overstaff. And we were just flat unable to do it. I mean, our pay and benefits are really good. But it just, I mean, unfortunately, rural, it's tough. And we've had people we've hired, and they thought they could find a place to live in the area, and they couldn't, and they got tired of driving. And so at that point in time, we scrapped those plans. And of course, then we went through the chaos, and came out of it. We said, okay, we need to get some place where there's more workforce, and the key to that we've seen in Hillsboro is a lack of housing. Yeah. And so, and my hat's off to Newton. I mean, they had a strategic plan they developed years ago, and a part of that was housing. And they were definitely, the leadership was ahead of the curve. And I mean, there's housing going on, there's housing coming up, and we felt like it was a good fit for us. It's with a short drive from the plant, because this new facility will have to be supported from Hillsboro. I mean, our home office is still in Hillsboro, but I know up front, Christian and I was spending most of our time in the new Newton facility, just getting things going there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's cool. Just a question about that. I'm interested with, I mean, I know selection processes. I know that Newton wasn't your only option, right? I mean, you look around, maybe take a map of Hillsboro dead center and say, let's look for 30 miles around here, because this are going to meet some of our needs, right?
We went up and down 135 from Salina to Wichita.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's going to bring a smile to my face, because already that just makes me feel like we got picked out of more opportunities that, I mean, we were in competition as a community. Yes. So when you were looking at Newton, I'm going to name off a few, maybe, I mean, Mountain Ridge, you kind of get in the same rural issue, but Heston, just kind of this vein, right, that you're looking at. What led you to see Newton as maybe the diamond in the rough? Well, how did Newton come about to be what made Newton attractive for you to bring your company here, besides maybe the housing?
Well, there's a lot of pieces that we looked at. I mean, the Brooks Institute with the high school, there's a labor force coming out of there. I love what they do, where they have a signing day with the kids that get a job fresh out of school.
Very cool.
The logistics just for trucking close to there, the land location or land availability. Part of the thing is we kind of struggled with the industrial park. A lot of the current industrial park didn't really meet our needs very well, and but we were kind of settling on Newton, and we were trying to find a decent spot, and then lo and behold, the 30 acres we bought came up, and that was kind of the final straw.
Deciding factor.
Yeah. So
to move in that direction. So what are some of the things, I mean, Brooks Trade Center, I could tell you, I agree. I'm a graduate of that. Okay. I actually like to weld aluminum. Yeah. Lots of people welders just can't stand it. And I liked it. It's more fast paced. If you're a welder, you know what I'm talking about.
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner. It's the whole thing. I always enjoyed it. I guess it's a preference, but, when you're talking about things like Brooks Trade Center, housing, infrastructure improvements, we had the industrial park that was an option. So as you started to kind of narrow in on it, I mean, were there more than one thing that accumulatively came to the deciding factor, or what really just solidified it for you?
it's kind of a score sheet. We're spreadsheet guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to check all the boxes. We used Hutton Construction to help us do site selection. Bring their expertise on picking a site, and how's the site work for building and available utilities and infrastructure and all the things that we want to do, and so there's a whole series of boxes that needed to be checked. And I mean, there's nobody can deny McPherson has really chased industry, and they've got a lot of good things for industry there. But you keep asking what was the final factor. I would say that availability of skilled workforce that is supported locally, like Brooks, and then a lot of communities are talking about housing, but Newton's doing it. Okay, and words are cheap. So a lot of them checked all the boxes, but which one checked the most?
Yeah.
And so those were, I'd say, the two boxes that the other places couldn't check.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because we're moving and shaking.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
But like you said, no. I was impressed with the strategic plan, and I think it was put together in 18 or 19. I'm not for sure.
Yep, I think it was 2019.
Yeah,
I believe 18.
And they were going the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, and housing was a number one priority there. You have to have houses to be able to have people come to your community, and if you don't have people come to your community, then you can't move a business there, and then it's just and so. I applaud our city. I agree with you that it's very nice to know that our strategic plan has gone forth over the last few years. It's been able to be something that we've seen come to fruition, and which has built a pathway for you all to be here. So I got to know what's the date that you're anticipating the facility being completed, and then tell me something about this facility. How many thousand square foot? What is it? Who? How many? How do you need to what? How? Yeah, come on now. I love it.
56,000 square foot of manufacturing space, 4,000 square foot of office space. We're close to locking in a builder. We haven't, signed a contract yet. It's going to be a nice facility. We want to be the premier employer in Newton. We want people to say, "Wow, you work at Hillsboro Industries, you lucky dog." Yeah. So it's gonna be well done. We're not forgetting the site in Hillsboro. We continue to make improvements there. Last year we put $1.5 million into Hillsboro.
Wow.
And a lot of it was creature comfort things, ventilation systems, fans, totally redid all the restrooms, made them nice and pretty and touchless, and
added
just
a few restrooms we didn't have.
A few, if I should say this out loud.
Instead of having to walk 200 yards to the bathroom, it was...
the facility was built in the 70s in a Mennonite community. That's not a shot.
Yeah.
But the facilities for ladies didn't exist.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, good thought.
And in the shop. They did in the office, but not in the shop. And so we went through and fixed that. We had, I think, 0 ladies in the shop at the time when we did it, but we said, it's got to be a welcoming place for ladies too. Yeah. And right now we've got 7 or 8 ladies working in the shop. So we did the right thing.
Well, you kind of don't think about it, but you're wanting to be able to employ as many people that can do the job, irrespective of anything. Yep. And so then when we might not necessarily realize that. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to walk into a place and say, "Where's the female's bathroom?" Mm-hmm. I mean, if we could call it that, today, whatever. The multi bathrooms for purposes needed to be used.
I mean, we had one up front, but you may have to walk 400 foot to get to it.
Yeah.
And so now we've got them scattered throughout the facility, and then, like I said, we upgraded it for everybody. Yeah. And so, we're just. We want it, like I said, we want it to be a great place to work. I mean, we've got great health care, short-term disability, long-term disability, dental, life insurance. We do very generous profit sharing twice a year, and we just do a lot of things. Again, I really believe 5 years from now, when somebody's talking to somebody and say, "Wow, you work at Hillsboro Industries," and that's a good thing.
So obviously you're hiring. Oh yeah, what was the date? Did you say the date that it was supposed to be ground was supposed to be broke?
I kind of went around.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
a roundabout time, because I realize.
Well, the objective is in the spring of 25, we're going to bring all of our dealers in to see the new facility. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where we're heading. We're hoping to get the builder defined and the building ordered in the next 10 days.
So yeah, we'll be seeing that. It's going to be something else in our community that's just starts happening. And then, I don't know, I'm a person who likes to drive around and see, and you guys are all going to be within driving distance, So I'll be, if you see my vehicle around there, I'm just looking to see the progress. Yeah. But I love it. I love to see it, So surely, I mean, you can say it without saying it. You're hiring. Yeah. Now in the future, is it just like, hey, if you're looking for a job today, we can put you in knowing that a year from now, this is where we're going to be, or just kind of give me a feel out on that for anybody listening to the audience. That's like, man, maybe I want to work at Hillsboro.
I mean, yeah, we're hiring. We have to space it out. And so we're very fortunate after the first year. I think a lot of it is the press we've gotten. But we were able to bring quite a few people on board. You want to control, when you got a lot of training going on. And so right now we're taking the applications, but we want to get the people we got on board up to speed, comfortable with their job, and then we'll be ready to do another wave when we get closer to the plan, and we'll start hiring people from the Newton area. And I always say I reserve the right to be smarter today than I was yesterday. Yeah. So this could change, but the intent is that we would have a van bus that would pick people up in Newton, take them to Hillsboro for training.
Very cool.
Getting the facility going. Probably use those people to set up the new facility, put up the material racks, and get things arranged and set up, and then be part of the much needed production.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if I was somebody that wanted to, I'm hearing this, I'm thinking I at least want to get my application in. I want to be able to have a further conversation with you guys, because I see what you're saying as, well, I know that when we worked the same place before, AGCO, right? And I'm looking at an opportunity, and I see somebody saying from Hillsboro Industries, hey, we have some jobs coming open. Some people that already have some pre-established work history with a place might consider looking at you. So they're not needing the job today. Right. They're willing to maintain until they have be able to move on. How do they get a hold of you?
So our website is the main place where we do the application, and it's just hillsboroindustries.com/careers. And then there's an entire job board, and one of them is a general application that you can fill out anytime for basically if you're just interested in whatever openings are available whenever they open. We keep those on file so we can reach out to people when that opportunity arises.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, and both of you are obviously invested. Obviously, right? So just directing it more towards you personally, I guess I always try to figure out what's the reason behind why we do what we do. And there's been a lot of that explanation here, why you moved here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just leaning in on the employees and being able to say why you want Hillsboro Industries to be known as the #1 top employer in Harvey County. Why?
Well, no, I mean, when we bought the business, okay, we always wanted it to be a good place to work. It wasn't. It's never been just about money. It's been about providing good products, being a good place to work, and so that's, and I mean it's exciting to see it grow. I mean we need to be making 600 livestock trailers a year, and we're making 2. That's all we can make.
100.
200.
Yeah.
We're making 200. Yeah. Good point. He has
very good done.
There's a reason I hired him. He keeps me straight.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I mean, and our aluminum truck beds are the same way. We've developed a truck bed system nobody else is doing. So we call it a hybrid. It's a steel and aluminum combined truck bed. Uses the best of both worlds. Yeah, I mean, and we've got so many markets that we're not even in, and little hot markets. I think probably 20% of our trailers, maybe 25%, went to Alberta, Canada. Yeah, I mean, we just
global demand.
I'm a firm believer when I am not there every day in a couple of years, and Christian's there, that he's going to be producing 1,000 livestock trailers a year.
Going all over the world.
I'm just trying to get to visit the dealers in Hawaii right now.
Yeah, wait. I want to go to Hawaii. I love it. That's a good call. That's smart thinking.
Yeah, we do. Believe it or not, we do have a dealer in Hawaii.
Oh, my word.
That's actually, we got a load we're putting together for him right now. So.
Very cool. Very cool. And I wonder, maybe the aluminum, ocean, all that, people don't think about stuff like that, but when you're talking about corrosion and being in an environment where salt will just play.
That's where those hybrids come into play a lot, because the salt on the roads, you get that up, have that corrosion, it's a big deal.
Man, we're creating right now. Yeah. Or I'm actually learning what you guys have created right now, but no, it's all new and relative, right? It's very cool, very cool. So Christian, why are you doing what you're doing, man?
Well, I mean, I always like manufacturing. I like figuring stuff out. I like a challenge. This is definitely a challenge, getting things kind of set up with the technology side. When they bought the place, I worked there off and on, doing stuff in the shop, sweeping, mowing, things.
He did the worst jobs there were.
The all in all.
I'm that dad. Yeah, like, I mean, he was crawling in the paint stacks, scraping them out.
Crawling isn't the right word. It was whatever you do.
Groveling.
Yeah. Dragging.
Dragging on my face and stomach.
But you just kind of fall in love with the company after that. And the people there have always just been top-notch type of people. And it's not just a factory. It's not just a group of friends. It turns into a family out there. Just always really enjoyed that.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So if you guys haven't seen the program, which I'm not going to say you should have, but probably not, because you're not necessarily Harvey County people. But I always give the guest the opportunity to speak directly to the hearts and minds of anybody listening. You can say whatever you want. It can be related, not related to anything we've talking here, but this is just your opportunity to speak directly to the hearts and minds of anybody listening. What do you got for us?
Well, no, I mean, we're excited. I mean, almost giddy about the new facility and what we've got going on as a company. We want to be a part of and a partner with Newton and Harvey County. And I think great things are going to come. We bought 30 acres. Okay, we've got plans that we haven't hardly even talked to anybody about. But I do want to constantly emphasize we're not abandoning Hillsboro, but we've got a lot of future growth and the potential is huge, and so we're just flat excited. So
very cool. Christian, what do you got for us, man?
Really can't tell much on that, right? But the big thing is just trying to get people to start. To the point, not necessarily a whole bunch of open positions right now, but getting people to go to the website, start submitting that stuff, see if we can bury our HR people in applications so that we can start looking at people. Because there's a lot of times where you'll get an application for something and you may not be specifically thinking about that position right now, but it may be something you realize, hey, I see this application, I need that person, we might bring them in now. So
very cool. Very cool. Well, I appreciate both you guys coming on. I know it was short notice. Yeah. I know that we as a community, and I've been told this by multiple people. I told people you're coming on the minute that I got the confirmation that you were. And there are people that are waiting for this interview because they just want to help celebrate in your success. And we want to be a part of your success. We as a community, I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people, I promise you, are very thankful that you all chose Newton as home. And we hope that it provides jobs for our community, for the future, and we can't thank you enough for what you're doing.
Appreciate it. No, like I said, I definitely want to say, great job to the leaders, because their strategic plan is a large part of the reason that we chose Newton. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks, and thanks for listening to this episode of Harvey County Talk. Our guests were Mike Gerken, who is the CEO of Hillsboro Industries, and Christian Gerken, who is the Director of Operations. Hoping to see you all soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.